Hi boys, I hope you're all good today. I hope you had a very nice weekend. Okay, so again lads, any questions about today's work, just let me know, okay? So just watch the video through. All the work is in the video, okay? Thanks. So the class starter then, so we're just going to have a little recap on what we learned the last day. So we've done the breathing system. The last day we looked at blood, okay? So what is the liquid part of blood called? So what is the liquid part of blood called? Name two materials that are transported around the body in our bloodstream. So name two materials that are transported around our body through our blood. Three. What are the three types of blood cells called? So what are the three types of blood cells called? And what are their functions? So what are their functions? Okay, so guys, pause the video here, okay, and give those 4 questions a go if you haven't got them down. Okay, so pause the video and give them a go. Okay. So the liquid part of blood then, the liquid part of blood is called plasma. Name two materials that are transported around our body through our blood. We have nutrients transported in our blood, we have medicines, we have gas, and we have water. Okay, so gas, water, nutrients, and medicine. What are the three types of blood cells? We have red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Okay, so what are their functions? So the red blood cells transport blood. The red blood cells transport oxygen. So they transport oxygen around our body. The white blood cells prevent disease, to prevent and fight against disease. And our platelets then, so they clot blood, so they prevent blood loss. Okay, so they clot blood, prevent blood loss. So guys, we're still on chapter 21, so hopefully we'll get this finished off there today. Okay, so breathing and circulation. So we've looked at the breathing system, we've looked at blood, and today now we're going to do circulation. Okay, so today then we're learning to, so hopefully by the end of the class we'll all be able to explain how our circulation system works, describe the function of the heart, label a diagram of the heart, list the 3 blood vessels in our body, describe the differences between these blood vessels and their function, and explain what your pulse is. So we're going to be learning to explain how our circulation system works, describe the function of the heart, label a diagram of the heart, list the 3 blood vessels in our body, describe the difference between these blood vessels and their functions, and explain what your pulse is. Okay, so that's what we'll be learning today. So some of you will already know some of this, okay? So circulation then. So our circulation system is made up of 2 circuits. One pumps blood to the lungs, where the blood collects oxygen and leaves behind carbon dioxide. This blood returns to the heart again. This oxygenated blood is then pumped in the other circuit to the rest of the body. It delivers oxygen to all the cells in the body. It also collects the carbon dioxide produced by cells. This blood then returns to the heart and the cycle repeats itself. Okay, so if we have a look at the diagram to the left, okay, the blue is the deoxygenated blood. Okay, so the blue is the deoxygenated blood and the red is the oxygenated. So the red has loads of oxygen in it, the blue is very little. Okay, so if you have a look at the smaller circuit first, so we've deoxygenated blood pumped out of the heart all the way up into the lungs, breathing then happens, and we breathe out carbon dioxide, breathe in oxygen, and this is then pumped back to the heart. It's then pumped through the heart and up and around and down to our whole body. So up and around, out to our whole body. Our body cells then pumped into them. Respiration occurs. Carbon dioxide then is taken back into the blood and it's pumped all the way up and into the heart to be pumped back around to the lungs again to be oxygenated. Okay, so guys, just pause the video here, okay? Take down those points on the circulation and get down a rough drawing there. So get down a sketch of that circulation system of the two circuits, okay? Might help us. And also, lads, try use one colour for deoxygenated and one colour for oxygenated. So try stick to the blue and the red if at all possible. We'll be able to use it throughout the chapter then, okay? So the heart then. The heart acts as a pump. The heart is made up of muscle tissue. This muscle tissue contracts and the blood is squeezed out of the heart through the blood vessels called arteries. Blood flows into the heart through veins. The valves protect backflow of the blood, so we'll have a look at them in a minute. And there are two circuits in the circulatory system. One side of the heart pumps blood to the lungs and the other side pumps blood to the rest of the body. Okay, so if you just have a quick look drawn there on the left, so that's an actual heart in someone's chest, okay? And as we can see, their heart is more in the middle than to the left, okay? It's more to the center. So it's to the center and ever so slightly left. Okay? It's not to the left like everybody thinks it is, okay? So the heart then. So I'm going to get you to, again, lads, pause these videos, make sure you get down those notes. So make sure out of the previous, so make sure you pause the video and get those down, okay? So the heart then, so this is a drawing of the heart. So we've blood pumped from the body into the heart, blood pumped out of the heart to the body, to the lungs, sorry, blood pumped to the body, and we've blood pumped from the lungs, okay? And then we have the left atrium, so the left atrium, okay? So lads, it's a mirror image, so it's the opposite side. So I know that looks like it's our right, but if the heart was in our chest, it would be the left atrium, okay? Then we have the two valves, so these stop the backflow. So once blood is pumped in and down, it stops blood from being pumped back up, okay? And we have the left ventricle. This here, guys, is muscle. It's called a sternum, okay? Then we have the right ventricle. We have our valves. And we have our right atrium, okay? So lads, I'm just going to name these for you now, okay? So just take these down as well there. So you might want to pause the video, draw it, and then label these as they are, okay? So you can still have where the blood is coming from, but just make sure you label these arteries and veins, okay? So this one here is our vena cava. So VEN, and in another word, CAVA. Okay, so the vena cava. Then we have our pulmonary artery. So PULMONARY. So pulmonary artery, ARTERY. Okay. Then we have blood to the body, and that's our aorta. AROTA, aorta. AROTA. And then the last one here, so blood from our lungs then, that is the pulmonary vein. So Pulmonary, vein, VEIN. We have our valves there to stop the black flow. Okay, so again, if you need to keep that pause, lads, do get down that, sketch of that, okay? It's really important that we're able to label the heart. So blood vessels. So we have 3 types of blood vessels. So veins carry blood to the heart. Arteries carry blood away from the heart. So A for away, that's how we remember. Okay, arteries carry blood away from the heart. So A for away, arteries away from the heart. And then with capillaries, so capillaries are tiny blood vessels that allow the exchange of water, gases, nutrients, and waste between the blood and the cells of the body. Okay. So again, just pause the video there, get down those 3 points, and just then we have to the left, we just have a quick drawing of the difference between the two. So you can see the vein there is quite big, it's thin, okay, whereas the artery is quite thick, okay. So then we have our blood vessels. So if you could just take down a little sketch of these boys, of your artery, so thick elastic wall. The vein then is a thin wall. We have our valves. We have a large lumen. In the artery we only have a small lumen. And then a capillary then is just a single cell wall. Okay, so just pause the video here, okay? And take down a quick sketch of those, okay? Blood vessels. So when blood is low in oxygen, it is dark red. And when it contains oxygen, it is bright red in colour. So it's dark red when it's low in oxygen and bright red when there's oxygen. Each artery divides into lots of very small narrow vessels called capillaries, which have very thin walls. This allows substances such as oxygen and nutrients to diffuse from the blood into the cells. Okay, so it passes from the blood into the cells, so it passes through the walls, okay, diffusion. In the same way, waste carbon dioxide can pass from the cells back into the blood, okay? So again, pause that there, lads, and get that down, okay? We already have that drawn, okay? So again, we're still on blood vessels. Capillaries then. Capillaries containing deoxygenated blood join together into larger blood vessels which eventually form veins. The walls of veins are thin and not as muscular as blood. As blood is not under much pressure as it is in the arteries. So the walls of the veins are thinner and less muscular because they're not under the same pressure. So the blood in veins are under less pressure than the blood in the arteries, okay? So this is why veins need valves to prevent backflow. So the pressure in the arteries don't allow for backflow, okay? Whereas the veins don't have as much pressure in them, so we need to have valves not to let it backflow, okay? So again, lads, just pause that and get down that point, okay? So just give that a pause. Blood vessels then, so we can see the way it moves from a vein into capillaries. The capillaries allow for the change of gases, so it allows oxygen to diffuse and the carbon dioxide, and then back into arteries, still the way around, okay? So you can see there how veins become capillaries and then arteries. So pulse then. So the heart contracts, causing a wave of pressure that travels along the walls of the arteries. This is called a pulse. Your heart rate is measured as the number of beats in a minute. You can locate your pulse in the you can locate your pulse in your neck or on your wrist. So then you can use a stopwatch and count the number of beats in a minute. Okay. So again, lads, our pulse, we always use our 2 fingers to measure our pulse. So it's our index finger and our middle finger. Okay. So always the index finger and the middle finger. Okay. That we use to measure our pulse. We'd never, ever, ever, ever use our thumb because there's a pulse in our thumb. Okay. So again, pulses travel through arteries. Okay, so to find your pulse on your wrist, then if you just put your finger on the end of your thumb, so you'll know where your pulse is anyway. If you go put it on the end of your thumb and slide down your wrist, you'll feel your pulse there. Okay, so down onto your wrist, you'll feel a few tendons there. So if you pull down, you should be able to feel it there. Okay, so it's under your thumb. And in your neck then, if you go to the end of your jawline and just come under it there, you should be able to find your pulse. Okay, so you all have a pulse anyway, you're not dead if you're here. So, okay, so it's just to the side of your Adam's apple there. Okay, so again lads, just pause that video there and take down those points, okay? We'll do a little activity later on in the week on our pulse, okay? So I'll just make sure on Wednesday that everyone can actually find their pulse. Okay. And then finally, our reflection. So this is really important, lads, that we do this. Okay. So as the reflection then, I want you to imagine that you are a red blood cell. Okay, so imagine you're a red blood cell. Write a short story about the journey you take around the body, describing what you see as you make your way through the heart and various blood vessels. Use your knowledge of the circulatory system to communicate as much detail as you can in your story. So be descriptive. Describe your role as oxygen carrier and delivery vessel. Okay, so you are a red blood cell. So remember, don't forget you go through the 2 circuits. Okay, so you can start where you best see fit. Okay, so you can start in the heart if you like, or you can start probably will be the best coming in or out of the lung, or out of a body cell. Okay, so start wherever you best see fit, and imagine you are a red blood cell and you're writing a short story about the journey you take around the body. Probably starting in the lung is probably a good idea. Okay, where you're just after picking up some oxygen. Probably your best point. Okay, so imagine your red blood cell, write a short story about the journey you take around the body, describing what you see as you make your way through the heart and various blood vessels. Use your knowledge of the circulatory system to communicate as much detail as you can in your story. So be descriptive, boys, okay? Be descriptive. You can talk about bouncing off of the blood cell walls, being squished in by white blood cells, anything at all. Okay? Be really descriptive. And describe your role as an oxygen carrier and delivery vessel. Okay, so that's your reflection, lads. You can look back in your notes if you like. You can include diagrams and drawings if you like. And you can include bouncing off the walls and moving through the plasma, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so on with you then. Alright, so get that task done and I will create an assignment for you. So make sure it's just your reflection, okay? So your short story on you as a red blood cell. Okay, so upload it onto the assignment. So lads, try get that done. Okay, that's important that we can do that because it shows our level of understanding of the circulatory system by being able to do that task. Okay, thanks lads, and I will talk to you on Wednesday. Okay.